Today's lesson is going to be back to the basics. Traditional archery, how do you aim? And what you're going to see in this video is a different approach, a tiny variation, but oh so important in changing just how accurate you can be from the very beginning, from the time you pick up a bow for the first time in your life. You're going to see a tiny little variation that some people have a great deal of trouble with. They just don't want to accept it. And other people, they grasp it right away and say, I get this. This makes so much sense. So hopefully you'll see that too. One thing you're going to find out about traditional, and I'm being very careful about that word, I'm going to call it conventional archery, is that they expect you to take the tip of your arrow and constantly be aiming somewhere off of the target. For short distances, for short targets, you're always aiming far, far below the target. For long distances, you're always aiming above the target, but you're never, except for one particular distance, are you ever actually putting the tip of the arrow right on the target. And the method, a non-conventional method that I'm going to show you today, that I hope is going to change the way you shoot, allows you, empowers you to place the tip of your arrow on the target at every single distance. And it's super easy to do. That's the best part about it. So let's go check it out. 5 steps to traditional archery shooting with the tip of the arrow always on the target. Step 1, you're choosing a gap between the nocking point of the arrow and your index finger, which is always going to be anchored under your chin. This gap can grow bigger, and it makes, when you anchor, it makes the tip of the arrow, it makes the knock of the arrow go up, up, up. So the tip of the arrow goes down, 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 so it shoots closer and closer and closer. And as you change that gap to make it narrower, the back of the arrow comes down, the tip of the arrow comes up, and it shoots farther and farther and farther and farther. Now, how far can you go with that gap? I typically use 4 fingers all the way down. This is what 5 meters looks like. For shooting at 5 meters, here's what 10 looks like, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 90, 120 meter gaps. And it's always about the distance between the nocking point of the arrow and the tip of your index finger. What I want you guys to realize is that gap can either be below the arrow or it can be above the arrow. 1 finger, 2 fingers can actually go quite comfortably. Looks like this. I've tried going out to 3 fingers, which would give me about 140 meters. Looks like this. Absolutely can be done. Absolutely can be done. Feels a little bit weird at that time. So what I'm telling you is you have a usable range of 4 fingers under the arrow, 5 meters. I mean, if you got to shoot a target closer than 5 meters, reach out with your arrow and just hit it on the head, because that's how close you are. You don't need to shoot it. You don't need to shoot it with an arrow. It's that close. 5 meters all the way up to 120 meters. That's a very usable range for an archer, for shooting with a bow and arrow. 5 meters out to 100. From standing right next to you to the length of a football field are those distances. So that's what you want to do. Back to the method. Step 1, you choose your gap. Let's say it's going to be 3 fingers, and you're measuring that gap in the width of your fingers. This is your ruler. You choose your gap. Step 2, you're going to anchor under your chin. Step 3, you're going to look down the side of your bowstring, the left edge, with your eye. That's literally looking right over the top of the arrow then, like that. Step 4, you're going to put the tip of the arrow right smack on your target, the center of the yellow. Not above, not below, not to the left, not to the right. right smack on your target every single time, every single distance. Step 5, you're going to make a small motion release. Small, as small as you can, like the mechanical releases that the compound bows have. They're there for a reason. Those releases are there because compound bows at full draw are only holding 12 pounds, 13 pounds, 14 pounds. They're very unstable. If you do anything wrong, if you were to shoot it with your fingers, a compound bow, and you could, the string is going to ride even on your fingers. It's going to ride to the right, or it's going to ride to the left or to the right, even because of the way your fingers release. And because compound bows are so unstable right at the moment of release, they need a mechanical release to ensure that they make a very small motion release. We have to make a small motion release with our fingers as well. When I shoot, and this is a key point, when I say that I'm putting the tip of the arrow right smack on the center of the target, I mean I'm aiming right at the center, right there. That's where the tip of that arrow, when I look at it, that's where the tip of the arrow is pointing. Not below it, not above it, not to the left, not to the right. That at any distance, the tip of my arrow, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the tip of my arrow right smack in the dead center of that bullseye. And that's what's unique about this particular method, is that you're not aiming off of the target, you're aiming on the target. Let's go see this in action at 18 meters. Come on. This is the cool part of this method. This is why it's getting so popular all over the world, really. What's cool is it's just made up of 2 methods that already exist. All right, let me get set up here. Step 1, choose your gap. 18-meter target, 1, 2, 3 fingers, slide my index finger down. That distance from here to here is a 3-finger gap, 3 fingers. There's the 3 fingers. There's my thumbnail. There's me putting the index finger here. First shot of the day. Step 2, draw back under your chin, not on your cheek. Step 3, look down the left edge of the bowstring right here. You're looking right over the top of the arrow at that point. When you're looking over the edge of the bowstring, step 4, put the tip of the arrow right smack on the yellow. Looks about like that. Step 5, small motion release. Here goes. Step 1, choose my gap. Step 2, a little bit about this. When you're holding it, you don't hook your fingers around like this. That gives you some kind of a hook that has to be released. Instead, you're going to go right in the middle of your finger pads, right about like that. You're still going to curl your fingers, but it'll be much easier to release at that point. If you hook them around like this, it's that much more, your finger pads kind of swell up, and it becomes kind of a hook that's going to make the bow probably pull to the right. You're going to end up going like that. So just in the middle of the finger tabs and you'll be fine. And you're still curling your fingers, but the bowstring looks like this, and then it releases that much easier. If you hook your fingers around, it's that much harder to try to let go of it. Step 1, choose your gap, 3 fingers. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, look down the left edge of the bowstring. Step 4, put the tip of the arrow right smack on the yellow. Step 5, step 5, step 5, step 5, step 5. Small motion release. Let's go see what it looks like. That's me talking and taking my first shot of the day. Imagine when you were shooting a bow for the very first time. And let me ask you a question. What if that was what your first shot ever looked like? What if it looked like that? What a simple method. 5 steps. Choose your gap. Anchor under your chin. Draw back and look. Anchor under your chin. Look down the left edge of the bowstring over the top of the arrow. Put the tip of the arrow right on your target. Make a small motion release. I hope you guys found that particular video interesting. I could sit here and shoot all day, but what I want you guys to do is go back and rewind, play, rewind, play, rewind, play, and then go out and give this a try. This is Mark Vogt with VOGTLAND Outdoors. I hope you enjoyed this particular, this is Mark Vogt with VOGTLAND Outdoors. I hope you enjoyed this particular short lesson. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel. Watch my other videos. I've been teaching this for a couple of years now. I've got thousands of subscribers, hundreds of thousands of views going on worldwide. There are people that are seeing the importance of this method, the usefulness of this method to teach people to shoot accurately from the moment they pick a bow up. We'll see you out there. Cut.